Morning, Anand. Good morning. Very good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Welcome. Welcome to
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
A8 live skill program. As a resource person, I would like to welcome you. We'll start the session very shortly. Okay. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Can we check your voice? Can we check before?
Yes, sir. Is that louder? Is that audible?
Second.
Or is that okay, sir?
Oh,
Check.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. We'll set
Sir,
it at
can we check the screen sharing? Is that
yeah, you
works or
can
not?
check it.
Let me check.
Meantime, you can check it, please.
Yes, sir. It is not sharing, sir. It got failed.
Sir, please check it now, sir.
Yeah. No, again, it shows the error code.
Sir, what is the error code, sir?
Just a second. 105035.
1 second. Sir, can you check it now, sir?
Yeah, just a second. The same error code it's repeating. Still, it is not working, sir. Still, the same error code 105035 is coming.
Anand, you are not getting any option of sharing.
There is only one option, sir. Share. I'm just clicking that, but immediately there is a pop-up saying that it's not shareable. Screen sharing has failed to start. Please
Sir,
try
can
again
you tell
later.
the error code again, sir?
1050. Just a second. 105035.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you leave the meeting and can you rejoin again, right, sir?
Sure. I'll do that.
Okay, sir. No, ma'am. Meeting again, sir. Sir, can you try it now, sir?
Yeah, just a second. The same error code is occurring 105035.
Sir, can you mail me the PPT, sir? I will share it from my end.
Just a
I'm having the
second.
PPT, no issues.
No, I've just modified some content, sir. Can I resend it again, sir?
Yeah, you send it again, no issues. We'll
Yes,
try.
sir.
We'll send the mail. Meantime, Valan, can you try? What's the issue?
Yes, sir. Sir, what is the system you're using, sir? They are letting us to change the graphic card for this error or rejoin.
Is
So these
this
are two solutions they're giving.
okay? No, I've rejoined it, but might be there won't be the graphic card. I hope, but I've already shared it previously.
Okay, sir.
Can I share it now? Can I?
Yes, sir.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'll share my present PPT.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Just a second. Okay, can I have your mail ID, please?
Sir, I'm dropping it in the chat box, sir.
Yeah. Professor Valan, can you check it now? I've just shared the mail.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So once again, warm welcome to everyone present here. We'll start the session in a short while. Once everything is set.
Professor Valan, there is one more, another two more documents, Word document that also need to be shown to people during the presentation time. Professor Valan?
did you send the PPT to me also now?
Yes, sir. I've already sent it to you.
No.
Just a second, sir. Again, I'll do that.
You got it? Is it okay? Alan?
Sir, I've sent it to you, sir. Can you check it?
The PowerPoint is getting ready. Okay, once it's ready, I will share. Hmm?
Yes, sir, it's coming, sir.
Visible okay, Alan?
Yes, sir, it's fine, sir.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Want to show that questionnaire also? No, you tell me that when you want to show that, so I will share that. No issue.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I will download. Meantime, I will stop sharing so that the formal session can start. Preethi ma'am, yes, you can go ahead.
Shall we start, sir? Sir, shall we start? Vetri, sir?
Let's start, ma'am. Richard.
Yeah. Very good morning to one and all present here. I welcome you all to this 10 days webinar
Yes,
on
ma'am, you
lifestyle.
can start.
Okay, sir. Yeah, very good morning to
Be
one and all
louder.
present. Okay. A very good morning to one and all
Yes.
present here. Is it audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, good morning to one and all
Yes.
present here. I welcome you all to this 10 days webinar on Life Skill 2020 for the day 8 session on innovative leadership and thinking skills, organized by Department of Business Administration, Don Bosco College, Yelagiri Hills, in association with ACM Chapter, Yelagiri Hills. First, I would like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Professor ANANDRAJ from Sacred College, Tirupattur. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to welcome all the participants of our college and other institution. Welcome you all. Next, I request Professor Ranjani to introduce our resource person. Ranjani, ma'am, over to Ranjani.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Anand Raj, well-acknowledged HR professional, to the session on innovative leadership and thinking skill, Life Skill 2020. He is now serving student community as a professor. He conducted different training sessions on various topics. His notable training was life coping skills, where he trained 80 infected children. He created a record of non-conformances in the payroll audit. He achieved implementing annual appraisal tracker in a successful manner and received many awards from his employers for his performance. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Over to you, ma'am.
Next, I request. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Next, I request resource person, Professor Anand Raj. Sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Before
Yeah.
that,
Next, I request resource person, Professor Anand Raj from Sacred College, Tirupattur, to take over the session. Over to sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, sir, for your words of welcome and introduction about me. And before I start the session, I would like to thank the management for giving me an opportunity to enlighten on the session life scoping skill or life skill 2020 powered by UGC. And I would like to thank HOD Dr. Professor Vetrivelan, HOD of Department of Business Administration, Yelagiri Hills. Thank you so much, sir, for having confidence on me on the particular topic to deliver it. Thank you so much, sir. So this is the 8th day. Till today, the participants might have gone through various sessions on life skills. How a student or a person to survive in the society, these skills need to be acquired, and that has been given by the UNESCO. And especially UGC has given a criteria to conduct a course like this is welcomable. There are plenty of problems that we face in day-to-day life, starting from poverty, poor education, corruptions, environmental distraction, and so on. These problems are not started today. It has started in the 20th century or in the 19th century. Problems are already created, and still we are running behind the problem. The reason behind the problem persistence or continuation is the lack of the leadership, the lack of a leader in the society, in terms of economic or in terms of political or in terms of ideological. We lack in leaders. Certain qualities describes leaders, certain traits describes leaders. In today's session, we'll be dealing with what are the traits that made leaders and what are the skills that made leaders. And we also need to enlighten on whether leaders are born or made. That's a question that I put it onto you, whether leaders are born or leaders are made. That's a question that I'm throwing to you. Now, I'll give you 45 seconds where the participants you can share your views on particular question. Leadership is, that's a statement, you have to fill in it up. Leadership is, you have to fill the statements. I'll give you 45 seconds.
Participants, put it in the chat box.
You can put it in the chat box. Leadership is, that's a statement, you have to complete it. Yeah, Yostana, you said the moving ahead towards common goals along with the entire team progressively. Okay, correct. To lead a people, got it. Sagaya Franklin, got it. Leadership is. To lead a people. Participant, I'm waiting for your response. Leadership is. To lead a people of common goal, exactly. Kanimori, you mentioned like leadership is to motivate another to get succeed. Exactly. Sir, you have given one who creates path. That's a correct one. And Vaishnavi Anjana, you have mentioned like an art of motivating people towards achieving the goals of the organization. Exactly. And Yostana, you said the qualities, all right, leadership qualities are like empathy, innovation, open-mindedness, and working for a purpose. True. Balakumaran, you said leadership is about mapping out where you need to go to win as a team. That's fantastic and fabulous. And many of you are already aware what is leadership. And leadership, this statement is like democracy, love. These are the statements in which everybody can answer it. It's a common statement. Before we move on to the session, we'll start with a true story of a leader. Many of is a servant leader actually. Sir, can you move to the another next slide, the third slide?
Is it okay?
The second slide, next slide, sir. Yeah. This is a missionary, French missionary, Reverend Father Francis Gesu, a pioneer who made these Yelagiri Hills a poor people's Ooty like. It is not innovating. It is not to create environment in a hill station. That is not a good leader does it. But where he educated the poor in Yelagiri. He came to India in the year 1963 around. It's 1954 he came, and he came to Yelagiri in the year 1968. So from 1968 to 1998, he was just working on the poor people to serve their basic needs. Now every missionary's job is that. Everybody comes to nations. The foreign people used to come like Mother Teresa. They come and they serve on the basic needs. He also does it. He provided food, shelter, water, clothes, and apart from that, he provided education to the mankind, to the village people. He identified the need of the village and identify what can make them see to a hungry man. If you're going to give him a feed him a fish, that is not going to change him. Rather, if you make them to catch a fish, that is what ultimately it is going to change himself as well as its entire family. When he try to learns to catch a fish, he feed his entire family, and at the same time, it is going to help the nation too. That is what Father Gesu did. What is the need thing here? What he did is he identified the poor people in the surrounded area, North Arcot district, not only North Arcot, including South Arcot. He went to Vellore, Krishnagiri, Dharmaburi, Thiruvannamalai, Viluppuram, and Kadalur district to identify the poor people in terms of economically poor as well as in terms of orphans. People they used to apply here. What he did, he created education, institution here. BCA. It was tied up with IGNO Study Center, where he has not taught them theoretically, where he taught them practically. The entire BCA section was practically trainable, and not only institution, like not only education institution. He also set up a computer software in industry in the year 1988 itself. He went back to France and he got donations, and he brought some computers. The first time in a hill that people are using computers. These people are trained languagically, English. They'll be trained thoroughly, and then the technical language was given to the people. And what happens usually, what education institution do is we give them education and then we send them to an institution, to the industry. But rather, he trained them and he made them employable in the same place itself. That is the uniqueness. That is the visionary that is the vision of Father Francis Gesu. There are people till from 1998 till now, those who educated from BIT, people are in Microsoft, people are working in Google, people are working in the reputed IT industries. He not only changed economically, he also changed them ideologically. He not only transformed individuals, he also transformed the family and village. Through them, he not only individuals economy, not only they developed individual economy, but nation's economy also gone higher. But silently, without knowing anybody, he has done it. Again, one more thing is, without him, this online class would have not been. He started as a IGNO Studies Center. Now it has become affiliated to Vadivel University. It has become an arts and science college. There are around more than 1,000 people are studying and people are getting employable. That's about the leadership story, the starting story. Now we move on to the next slide, where the next slide is to deal about the various leadership definitions was framed in the 20th century. So next slide. Now it was started, the definition started in the year 1990s till 21st century. There are many definitions. It started from the autocratic leadership style. Initially, it was the leader, one who always seek self-interested people, always he direct and control over with the use of power. Ultimately, he expect people to obey, respect, and people need to be very loyal, and they have to be cooperative, not the leader. It was the initial stage. And slowly it has moved on to domination, to influencing. People, the leaders start influencing the followers. And the next level was individuals, they turn into group activities. And after then, the followers started to observe the behavior of the leader. According to the behavior of the leader, people try to started following the leaders. It was moved on to the 1960s. And again, organization goals started set up. organization leadership started emerged in the year 1970s onwards. So next slide. The next slide will be seeing about the various leadership styles, starting from authentic, spiritual, servant, adaptive, fellowship, and then discursive. These are not only the major leadership style that is framed between 20th century to the 21st century. There are plenty more. There are transformational leadership that has been brought in the recent years. Transactional leadership, again, it has been emerged. Again, innovative leadership styles are there. Ethical leaderships are there. Compassionate leadership styles are invented. Why? What is the reason? Why the people started autocratic leaderships till compassionate leadership? Initially, it was the king's rule. Now it is not people's. It is called people's rule. People rule, and people have to follow the leader. And there is a drastic change in the leadership behavior. So next slide, sir. Now this is the definition given by the Peter G. Northhorse. He has given the definition, and I can catch up the components from this definition. There are 4 different components that we can identify from this definition. One is called process, another one is called influence, and the third one is called group, and then fourth one is called goal. As I started initially, leadership is, that was a statement, and everybody gave the correct answer. That's why I say it is like 20th century to the 21st century. People give lots and lots and lots of definitions to the leadership, how a leader is supposed to be. Now this definition, if we can take it up, these 4 components are the major role that plays in the leaders with the followers. First, it starts with the process. The process, it's called never ending things. Process always will have an interaction with the leaders and then followers. This interaction can change if there is any negativity or anything that needs to be changed. With the interaction, it can be changed, it can be rectified. That's why always leadership, it's a process, never ending thing, whereby an individual influences, that is what leader influences the group. See, leader cannot be a single person. If you want to be a leader, you're supposed to have a follower. But we can say each and every individual is a leader. Yes, that is also a correct statement. Before we born from the mother's womb, we are leaders. Genetic theory, it says to create a baby, there are supposed to be 300 million sperm counts that need to be needed. But only one sperm count that has to be moved on with the mother's womb, that creates the baby. So before we born, we kill 299 million sperm counts, and then we becomes the leader. There we win actually. But once we come to the society, when we come to the world, we lack in leadership. We do not know the purpose. We do not know what to do. We don't have vision. That's need to be trained in the life skill. That's why we have life skill sessions where we will be trained. Individually, we will be trained. But if you want to be a leader, you definitely need to have a group. Then only you can influence them. So group is the third determination. That is a component. And finally, that's supposed to be a common goal, not individual goal. It was the olden days. It was in the 20th century and the 19th century. The leaders used the followers to accomplish the leader's goal. If they want to win the other nation, they take the entire army to go for a war. They never ask the soldiers whether to go for a war. No, they never ask the ministers. It was solely on the leaders, on the kingdoms. Whereas in the modern era, in the 21st century, it has to be a common goal where leaders' goal ultimately needs to fill up with the group goal, or else group goal ultimately need to fill up with the individual goal. There is a organizational behavior. There is the map which says the individual should have a common goal. Individual should have a goal. If you need to be employable, the leader selects in such a way that individuals should have a goal. That goal should enforces the group goal, should influence the group goal. At the same time, the group goal also need to align with the organization goal. These three distinctions need to be clear, and then only you can win the organization goal. Ultimately, you will also win the goal. So these are the four components that creates the leadership process. So leadership is a process whereby individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal, where both people have together and win the battle. Move on to the next slide. We'll be looking at different views of leadership. We'll be looking at the different views of leadership. We have we have the process. We are going to compare with the traits. The trait is the one which is inborn quality of a leader, whereas it is the process which influences the leadership with the followers. There is a difference between the trait and then the process. Trait will have certain qualities that describe leadership. Now, it can be a height, it can be an intelligence, it can be extroversion, it can be fluency, it can be other traits that we'll be discussing in the next another three more slides. We'll be discussing about the traits. Only these traits will be influences the leader to gather the followers. If you got a trait, you will have a followers. Whereas in the modern era, 21st century, the leaders have to interact with the followers. When you do interact with the followers, ultimately people get influenced to you. The next slide, the another two more difference between assigned and then emergent leadership, and then the leadership and power will be discussed. Yeah, assigned versus emergent leadership. What is assigned and what is emergent? It is very simple. Leaders, both sides, we get both sides. Assigned leaders are people who are already employed in an organization by the position, by the authority, by organization's power that they will be employed, and with the power they lead the people and think that they are actually leaders, but it is not. Not everybody accept them as a leader. The formal position people work in an organization like managers, senior managers, vice president, all are in the formal position, are not actually leaders. It is only by the position that they have become a leader, not influentially. Whereas emergent leadership is the way the group member responds to them. But actually, they don't have a position, they don't have an authority to influence them. Rather, they influence them in a various terms, like they influence them in a verbal manner, or else they inform them about whatever they know the information. They just tell them the information, they give them information, and whenever they are in trouble, whenever they got things to do, they get others' opinion, they seek opinion. So again, they take initiatives, they create new ideas, and then they always, in a group, they always firm, they don't react, they don't be rigid. These are the traits, these are the qualities that make them the emergent leadership. There are many the professors and the teachers and the leaders in the group. You can take the scenario in a class. Take a class. We formally appoint a leader, a student representative. We formally appoint them, but when they communicate, many of the groups, they don't even listen. But there will be a student who already influenced them in terms of intelligence, in terms of confidence that they show, in terms of verbal communication that he has. They become a leader. People, they see him as a leader, not the people that we assign them. There was a study conducted in a university among the male students. Around 160 students has been taken for the study, where they found out leaders on a various category, they got influenced. Leaders got influenced by the followers. There are people, those who are more dominant, people, those who got more intelligent, people, those who show more confident among the group are treated as a leader. Emergent leadership. That's what emergent leadership. That's how people, they like them. And they move on to the next one, leadership and the power. Leadership ultimately needs power. The power sometimes can be from the official position, or sometimes can be, it may be within each individual, within the personal power. That power, we divide that into two. One is called position power, another one is called the personal power. Position power, it comes from the organization, the like status or else formal authority that is being given by the organization, and the reward people, those who reward people, have the capacity to reward people. Again, it has been comes under the position part. And then the people, those who punish, or people they can penalize, or the again the other power which comes from the authoritative position, which given by the organization side. Whereas the personal part, it comes from the individual side, within themselves. They'll have that spark. You can look at in the colleges, the staffs being liked by the students, the way they behave with the students, the concern that they show. Immediately, people started loving them. Referent, that is what referent power means. People like the leader. How they like the leader? Because they might be friendly, not in a negative way. Might be they text them, they make them feel at ease. They are approachable. They give confidence. Whenever they are down, they put their shoulder on them, and then they just help them to grow up in their life. In that way, people get referent power. These are the traits that the referent leader has. And then expertism. People's perception, followers always look at leaders. What is capable of? What is his competencies? They look at in the competencies and they start liking it. Again, it is the individual personal part that we influence leaders. Now we move on to the next topic, which is called trait approach. This innovative leadership has three sections. The introduction session is just general one, and then these two sections are connected to the innovative leadership behavior. The trait approach and then the skill approach are connected. That's why initially I threw you a question like, leaders are born or made? That's a question that I threw you. If people say leaders are born, that is the correct answer. Yes, leaders are born. Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King. There are plenty of people. Leaders are born with a certain traits. Leaders are made. Yes, obviously leaders are made with the specific skills. Now, trait approach, it starts in the 20th century. It was the first systematic approach. There were historical leaders. It's been identified by Stockdale, is the researcher who identified the historical leaders. He take an initiative to find out what are the traits that made them a great leader. That's why the great men theory has come. Great men theory, which identifies the innate qualities of the great social, political, and military leaders. People, those who already succeed in their position, they have been taken into a research. And what are the traits that they have? Inborn qualities, inborn characteristics that they have. That is being identified. And if they have certain traits, and that leads to a leadership. That's what Stockdale did. He has two different approaches. He looked at in traits approach and then in the situation approach. Initially, Stockdale says, there is no specific traits that made the people as a leader. He has taken from the social, political, and the military leaders, and he says there is no specific traits that the followers and then different leaders they have. And he started his research in the year between 1907 between 1947. He taken 124 leaders, and then he started identifying the traits, how these individuals in various groups become a leader. What are the traits that makes them leader? That's what this first study. In that particular study, he says the traits people, those who have traits, cannot be leader under all the situations. He says situations can make the change of leaders. Traits and situation, it not go hand in hand. That's what he found out in the first study. Again, in the second study, he says in between 1948 to 1970, among 163 leaders, he identified around 10 different traits that both traits and situations merged. Both is important. Trait as well as situation is important. That's what he found out. In the next slide, we'll be seeing various researchers. So next slide. Yes, various researchers like Stockdale, Mann, and the Lord D. Bender, and then Eliga, Kirkpatrick, and then Zapro. These people all together they framed 47 traits. They identified 47 traits from the great leaders. Might be political, social, and then military leaders. They have taken 47 traits, in which Stockdale's first identification, he identified 8 traits, which is not go hand in hand with situations. And again, in the second research, he says these 10 traits, achievement, persistent, insight, initiatives, like 10 traits he gives up. These 10 traits always move with the situations. So both we need it. In between, when Stockdale does his research, in between, Mann also found out some 6 traits that influences the leader with the follower. But while Mann has, this 1959, Mann has differentiated 6 different traits, whereas Lord interfered with the Mann's theory, and he proved that only among the 6, only 3 traits are important. That's what Lord Divide says. So he has taken from the 6 traits and he has shortened it into 3. Likewise, it goes on. So from 47 traits, the author Peter G. Northouse, he has divided the 44. He has taken only the important traits, that repetitive traits, he has taken into the consideration of major leadership traits. In the next slide, you will see there are 5 different traits which helps to become major leadership traits that helps a leader to become a leader. They are intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability. These are the 5 major traits that each and every leader is supposed to have. This is what it has been taken from the various great men theories, and it has been shortlisted. Now, intelligence, we take into intelligence. Yes, leaders are born with intelligence. Specific leaders are born with intelligence. In an economic leadership, if you see Apple's owner, Steve Jobs, you know it. He born with the intelligence. He got a strong verbal ability. If you see Apple owner Steve Jobs, whenever he introduced his product, he never look at the slide, but he exactly throw what he's having in his mind. Verbal ability, he communicates exactly, clearly. And that's how people started following, people started attracted by the Steve Jobs traits, intelligence, then perceptual ability, and then reasoning. Now intelligence supposed not to exceed more IQs. Intelligence should not exceed it. Why? Why? Because if people are more intelligent, the leaders are more intelligent, there will be a gap in communicating with the followers. Their ideological will not go and reach the followers. That's why always this intelligence supposed to be moderate with the followers' intelligence. They cannot communicate it properly. Maybe they may be overreact to their ideologies. Now move on to the self-confidence. Generally, in a soft skill, self-confidence created with 2 different aspects. One is called self-image. Self-image creates self-esteem. Self-esteem creates self-confidence. That's a soft skill we learned about it. The self-confidence is the ability to be certain about one's competencies and the skills. It's like self-esteem, self-assurance, and then belief one has. For example, self-confidence about Steve Jobs' self-confidence, we know it about. He was thrown out of his Apple, and he moved to the and moved out, and he created the new company. Right? So he always believed in himself. That self-confidence create the leaders among the followers. And third one is called determination. Determination, it is like a persistent, working hard. They never give up. I'll tell you an example of Arunima Sinha. Arunima Sinha is a 7 times national volleyball player from the north, an Indian national volleyball team player. Arunima Sinha, in the year 2011, she was thrown out of the train by the thieves. She was on the way to attend her central government job interview. She was no, she was hit by the train and she lost her leg. The next day, she was no, admitted in the hospital. People say in the investigation they said Arnima Sinha, no, she lied it. There was no such thing happened in the train. She wants to get the job, so she malpracticed it. Arnima Sinha didn't give up. She withheld it. Government announced 5 lakhs rupees for the loss of her legs. And the railway again they gave 1 lakh rupees for the accident. She didn't give up. She started get inspiration from Yuvraj Singh, a former cricketer. The inspiration comes from the Yuvraj Singh. Yuvraj Singh, after the winning of World Cup, he got cancer and he overcome the cancer. Again, he started playing. So she got inspiration from Yuvraj Singh, and what she thought to herself, I want to prove it. I want to prove to the nation that I am capable of it. What she did, she lost her leg, so artificial limb has been given to her. She started training, she slowly started walking, and she got attracted. She got an aim of climbing the Mount Everest. That was her first intention. She wants to prove that she is capable of. She was not done anything guilt about it. So what it did, she started practicing mountaineering slowly. Within a year, she got a sponsorship from Tata Steel, and she climbed up Mount Everest. Within 2 years, 2014, she climbed up. And once she climbed up, again she got interesting to climb all the 7 continentals mountain, highest peaks. She achieved it in the year 2019. All the 7 highest mountains is being climbed by a armless woman, by an Indian woman. She kept our national flag on all the 7 continental peaks. That is the determination that shows how a leader is supposed to be. Again, only determination I'm talking about. Now, what she also done it, whatever the amount that she got now through climbing up all the mountains, she used it to start an organization for the people, those who are poor, people, those who are not able to afford to go for a coaching. She is training people for kabaddi, she is training people for volleyball, hockey, and so on. She started her own academy. So that is the determination. So once we get it, we give it to the nation. Whatever we get it, we give it to the nation. And fourth trait is called integrity. Integrity is also a very important trait that each and every leader, people those who want to be leader, all these 5 traits we supposed to have. If you have all the 5 traits, you are a great leader. Integrity plays a vital role. How? Integrity is what you say and what you do it. That is what integrity. Whatever you promised, you have to do it up. When you say and do, people start believing you. People get confidence in you. People believe in you. People, they trust you like anything. There was another story for integrity from the Bible. There was a person named called John the Baptist. Before Jesus Christ, he was a prophet sent by the God to proclaim the coming of Jesus. He started proclaiming about Jesus. The King Herod got offended, and people started telling that he is creating revolution among the people to set up a new king on behalf of Herod. So he arrested him and he put him in the prison. Herod's wife got affair with the Ben, affair with John the Baptist. She got attracted with John the Baptist and she went and asked, but John the Baptist refused to her attraction. He said no. So she waited to kill John the Baptist. She waited for a moment. One day, King Herod started celebrating his birthday. So that was a joyful day. People were very happy on the day, and Herod was very happy. And the princess started dancing in front of Herod. Herod got so much happy, and he gave her a word, and he asked her, "What do you want? You ask me." That was the word that is being said by the Herod. What do you want? You ask me. I'll give you whatever you ask for. If you're going to ask me the offer of the kingdom, I am ready to give you. That was the word that he has given to her princess. This princess is a little girl, so she doesn't know what to ask. She went to her mom and to ask what she want. That was a chance that lady, the queen, was waiting for, and she asked. She whispers in the princess' ears. The princess immediately came to Herod and she asked, "I want John the Baptist's head on a plate." King Herod shocked. He was shocked and he doesn't know what to do. So he promised the princess. So he asked the people to cut him his head and keep it in the plate to hand over to the princess. That is what integrity. Even if you are a negative person, even if you are you are in a top level position, even if you are the least person, whatever you have given a committed words, whatever the words that you have you have put into the people, try to achieve it, try to fulfill it. That is what integrity. Do whatever you have said, finish it off. So that makes the followers trustworthiness. And last one is called the sociability. Social ability is how you move in the society, how you move with the people. Friendliness, outgoing, courteous, tactfulness, diplomatic. All these are the traits in the sociability. People, sociable people are the leaders who incline to seek out pleasant social relationship. You mingle with people. Social ability is also equal to extroversion. People always in the midst of the people. So all these 5 traits are the major leadership traits, which is being taken from the various research. Around 47, we have taken only 5. These are the major traits. In the next slide, major personality factors, 5-factor personality that is being connected with the leadership. We have seen the traits. Now we are going to look at the personality. There are 5 different personality factors. We call it as ocean: openness, consciousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and then neuroticism. All these 5 factors of personality, it has been ordered. Now in the recent study, they finalized the leadership influences are determined with the 3 things. One is called, the first one is which determines the leadership is called extroversion. Extroversion is the tendency to be sociable and then assertive and to have positive energy. People, they move with people. They always crowded by the people. All right, that's the first one, major one. A leader supposed to be extrovert person, not the introvert person. But there are leaders. People, even Abdul Kalam is an introvert. It's not an extrovert. Whenever he comes for the stage, only he talks. But if he is in the office, he don't open his mouth. He don't mingle with people. He used to be calm. That's what I heard about it. But not only extroversion, but introversion also a good trait, and it works sometimes. Extroversion is the major trait, and then consciousness. People are very controllable. They always think in a situation. They don't react. They react with the cautions. Our leaders are the second category. And openness are the people who always be very creative. They are very curious to know about it. They don't bother about the groups. Whatever that comes to the mind, they just openly talk. That's what the people. All these 3 things, all these 5 are put it into a hierarchy. So extroversion comes in the first trait. Second one is called conscientiousness. People will be very controllable, and people are dependable and decisive. The second in the position, and openness is the third one. These three are the positive one. The other two things we have, it is called a neuroticism and then agreeableness. Neuroticism is totally people, they don't think, they don't use their brain, rather they use their emotions. Anything that you say, they don't think and clarify it, rather they take it personally. They emotionally, they are weakable person. Neuroticism. People are very anxious, depressed, people are vulnerable. That's also a trait, that's also a personality factor, but that is being put it in the last. People, those who got neuroticism cannot become a leader. And then agreeableness. Agreeableness is like polishing people. They don't harsh to people. Anything that they say, they agree. Followers, anything that followers says, they agree. They don't have to harm people with their words. That's agreeable. That is also they have not considered for the leadership traits. So only three things. So we have seen five, no, 5 plus 3 traits, characters or quality that a normal leader or normal leaders should have. They are intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociable, and extroversion, conscientiousness, openness are the 8 things that a leader is supposed to have. Now we'll take a break in the seminar. We are going to have there is a procedure that will be displaying it. Sir, can you share leadership trait questionnaire, sir?
Yeah, one second.
No, you can do it at home. You need not to do it here because we are a lack of time. You can do it at home, but you need in this particular questionnaire. First, you have to answer. There are 14 traits which has been given in the questionnaire. First, you have to answer, and then you have to circulate it to your 5 friends. Just 5 enough. You choose your friends and circulate to them. You ask them to rank you, and then you average all the 5, and then you compare with your marks. You will know what is the traits. What are the traits that you possess? So this is the questionnaire, leadership trait questionnaire, which I have taken from the Peter G. Northouse. It is being checked. The validity and the reliability, it is being checked, and people are already using it. So there are 14 different questions that you have to answer. You have to mark first. First, you have to do it, and then you circulate it to your 5 confident friends, or people those who know you. You can circulate it to them. And finally, there is how you can compare with them. That is already it is already given in the second page, where you have to take the average of your 5 friends, and then you compare with your self-rating. This is an example. This is an example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are your friends ranking. Average, you take the average of your friends, and then you compare with yours what you have rated for you. First, you do it for you, and then you circulate it. This is the questionnaire that I want to share it to you, which may help you to identify the traits that you possess. Move on to the next approach is called the skill approach. Skill approach, I'll just rush. Skill approach is the another different approach where leaders are made. So we've seen what leaders are born, and what are the qualities or traits which made the people by born. But here leaders are made are how people acquire knowledge, and what are the abilities that the leader have, and that gives the effective leadership. Now, Robert Cates, he has written a paper named called The Skill of an Effective Administrator. He has given a framework. He has given a framework how the different, in an organization, how a different set of people, the top level, middle level, and then the administrative level, have to have the different skill set and what works in. In the next slide, Robert Cates. This is the final draft that Robert Cates has given. In an organization setup, top level, middle level, and supervisory level, leaders, they should have this kind of a skill set. We start from the bottom level, supervisory management. When the leaders in the administrative level, they're supposed to have three different skills, and but only two set of skills are very important. One is called technical, and the one is called human skill. Technical skill are the specialization what people are very good at it. Like for example, I'm an IT company, IT employee, I work for TCS. I'm very specialized in Java. Java is my core. So I supposed to know the nook and corner of Java platform. That makes me an employable. That helps me to drive the organization cost. The second set is called human skill. The skill where I have to know how to move with an employees in an organization. I have to know how to communicate with my employees. I have to know how friendly with my employees. I cannot go alone and I cannot perform it. All the organization now they are moving to the group activities, not individual. No individual talents cannot be accepted. You have to perform in a group. So human skill is also needed in the supervisor. Whereas in the conceptual skill, it is not necessary for the administrative level leaders. You need not to have no strategy. You need not to you need not to have kind of an interaction with your top level. All right, concept strategy they keep it in the only 50%. Only a little bit if you know, that's fine. And move on from your supervisory level leader. If you move on to the administrative middle level, you're supposed to have all these three things with the 100% ratio: technical, human, and then conceptual. Again, when you move on from the middle level to the top level, you should have again three skills. Whereas technical skill, it is not necessary for you to be 100% sure. I was an entry level employee. I was very good at Java in the entry level. But after 10 years, after 20 years, now in the top level, where I will be focusing on the human skill and conceptual rather than the technical skill. I don't need to know the entire skill set of Java. I only know what Java platform is, or in what way Java helps. That's enough. Only 50% enough. And human and then concept school are 100% important for the top level people. Now look at this mapping where the human skills are the skills which are necessary in all the three levels. Human skills. Look at the map. You can see middle level and then supervisor level only two side technical is important, and the third top level technical is only partial. Whereas conceptual also top level, middle level, you need to have 100%, but it is not necessary in the middle, the administrative level. Whereas human skill, dealing with people, dealing with the people's emotion, that is important. How you handle them, that is what connects into the innovative leadership. How you interact with your team, that makes people to be innovative. That we'll see in the next coming slides. Now in the next slide, sir, you can take the skill inventory, sir. Skill inventory.
Want to show me the document?
Yes, sir. A skill inventory. The first one. Yeah. Skill inventory, you can assess your skill. Where you stand, actually where you are. Are you in the administrative level? Are you in the middle level? Are you in the top level? There are around there are around 14 questions which has been given, where you have to answer all the 18 questions. After giving your ratings, there is a scoring, how you have to score it, and what are the questions that is in what are the questions, like question number 1, 4, 7, 10, and 13 and 16 are the technical skills score. So if you get now, there'll be a rating also. If you get around 23 to 30, your skill level is high range. You are in the top level. Your skills are very high. If your skill scoring levels in all the three scorings, each skill you can check it up. You can check it up technical skill. If your technical skill score is 14 to 22, your skill range is moderate. Your human skill is 23 to 30. Then your skill range is high. Your conceptual skill, again, it is very it is from the number of 6 to 13. Then you have to think about it, where you have to improve, what are the things that you need to overcome it. This is the skill inventory, wherein which you can check what are the skills that you are required to sustain in an organizational environment. Moving to the next slide, it is now the we are into the main area of innovative leadership. Initially, the leader should have a traits, and they also need to have skills. When they have both, they become innovative leaders. Leaders are born and made. Both innovative leaders are both. Now, let me explain what is innovative leadership. Again, in an introduction, I said about the society is facing so much of problems. I said about hunger, health, terrorism, population, corruption, poverty, unemployment, and then environmental destruction. It is there. It is not started today. It has started in the 20th century, not more than that, 19th century or 20th century, but it's still in existence. What happened? We got traits, we got skill, but we have not eradicated all these problems. We are still run behind it. The leaders are they always focus only to cure on the present scenario alone. They look at only the short-term curation. They don't look on the future perspectives. That's how our leaders were. Now we are in the 21st century. The 21st century problems cannot be solved with the help of the 20th century leadership. That is why the innovative leadership is born. Innovative leadership need to have the 21st century skills. 21st century skills that you can take it from the 20th century leadership skills. That's why we have given you traits and then skills. What innovative leaders should do? When innovative leaders innovates, and if they eradicate problems, they become revolutionary leaders. Innovative leaders are called revolutionary leaders because innovative leaders, they do radical changes to solve people's need. Innovative leaders, they do provide radical changes through new idea, method, technique, process, product, services, or discovery to solve current problems and satisfy people's need at the present and in the future. That is what the innovation leaders does. Innovative, they radically change it from the root. They start developing and they eradicate the problems. They don't even consider the today's to solve the problem. They also look the future and what has to be changed in the future. That also they'll be looking into it. Innovative leaders are visionary and committed to bring people's economic, political, ideological traits to improve social well-being and protect the environment, planet, to create a just society. What they do, they innovatively and committedly they bring social, not social, they bring economical, political, and then ideological changes to create a better society. Again, innovative leaders are called visionaries, like Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam once asked to give valediction in the medical college. He gave a speech to the doctors, those who get um, final degree certificates, where he was talking about his innovation in the Agni missile. You would have heard about it in his many speeches. You would have heard about it. This story. He innovated carbon and carbon material to safeguard the material which is inside the rocket, because he says It was tons of heats used to be produced. The inside material has to be it has to be contained the room temperature. So he created carbon and carbon material to safeguard that particular content which is in the rocket. So Mr. Dr. B.M. Prasad used to visit Dr. Abdul Kalam's office often. He was in Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad, DRDM. So where Dr. B.M. Prasad, when he visited Dr. Abdul Kalam, he was started explaining about carbon and carbon material. So Dr. B.M. Prasad got, whenever he take the carbon and carbon material, he says, it is so light, it is so light. That's what he says. So Dr. B.M. Prasad, he invited Dr. Abdul Kalam to his hospital. He was having ortho specialist. The doctor was very ortho specialist. He has an hospital for the polio attacked people those who lost their legs during by the effect of polio. He used to help them. So what Dr. B.M. Prasad done is he provided them 4 kilogram of the artificial limbs, like what the polio attacked people used to wear to walk. It was heavy. When Dr. Abdul Kalam entered into the office, the hospital, everybody started using it. But whenever people are not there in the hospital, they just remove the artificial limb and they just lay down on the bed. So Abdul Kalam went inside the hospital. He look at the weight of the particular artificial legs. He says it was around 4 kilograms. The legs are 4 kilograms. People are not happy with the wearing of the legs, and people got the pain of wearing it. He understood the pain of the people. What he did, he used that carbon material. He converted that material and he made simplest plastic, weightless plastic, around 400-gram artificial legs, and he presented to them. He says people were so much happy after wearing that. They started running, they started jumping, like he was telling so exaggeratedly the story was. So that is what innovative and then committed leaders they do. They do it economically, they do it politically, they do it ideologically. Even Abdul Kalam did it politically. He says in the year 1998, he started visioning, he started dreaming about India's 2020. He says he submitted all the documents in the parliament. There was a discussion going on in the parliament. He was telling it in the program. He also released a magazine books called India 2020. He was a great visionary. That's how the innovative leaders were. That's how it need to be. He was a born leader and then actually and also a made leader. So leaders, innovative leaders, they know the past and they see the present and they predict the future. What they do in the what is the problem in the past, what is the problem in the present, and what is the problem in the future. They look that and they try to eradicate the problem. And one more thing is Captain Raghu Raman. Raghu Raman is a president of Reliance Industry. He was addressing corporates. There was a session named called Leave Them Behind. He was telling a story of two brothers, siblings, Tiwalas. They were working in the Mahendra office. Anand Mahendra was the chairman, is the chairman too. So they were working in his office, serving tea to Anand Mahendra and the employees in the organization. What Raghuram and Co did is they have adopted these two kids. They were paid off 5,000 rupees in their office. So these two are taken for the MBA graduation. Or they have already done their +2. They have passed it. They have taken for graduation. So what they did, they have given 5,000 rupees stipend, and they've been allocated 8 supervisors, 8 trainers for them specially to train on various skills. So these mentors started training them in communication, languages, and then the MS Office, and then the about the subjects, theories, and everything. They were trained 2 years. At the end of the second year, the end of the final year, there was a campus interview. There were around 50 people doing their MBA courses, and these two people are selected at the place of 11 and 12. Yeah, the 12th, 11th people and the 12th people who got the offer in the campus placement. They work in ICICI Bank as a managers in the northern side. What is chain effect? That is what I'm trying to say here. The chain effect is simple. The change of livelihood is not the matter. What these two young kids did is they also started sponsoring the Raguraman and Co. for how they've been trained the same way. They also started sponsoring like 5,000 each to train the other people. It was the chain effect. That is what innovative leaders do. When innovation done in the present, automatically it gets the sequence of repeating the innovation again and again. That is what the chain effect. Now look at the definition, the next slide. Definition, again, it has five different components. Again, it has the process, and then friendly culture, setting strategic direction, guide, and then build trust. Now here, the process I've already explained to you. Especially innovation is called, innovation leaders always need to be friendly culture in the office, in the organization. They have to develop innovative, friendly culture. At the same time, the innovative leaders also need to look at into the strategic decision directing. Okay, what needs to be done, what not to be done, how they need to look at the futuristic. The innovative leaders also need to guide, and they also need to build trust. When these innovative leaders, when these components are fulfilled, automatically employees they start to do innovation in an organization. Innovative leaders are not to create anything new. Innovative leaders need to support the people. No, they have to be friendly in the culture, and then they have to be very strategic in their directions, and they have to guide their teammates, and they have to build trust. If innovative leaders does it, automatically the subordinates and the followers, they do the rest. The innovation, it starts coming up. So there are five different elements that are required for innovative leadership. Namely self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and then social skills. Again, self-awareness, each and every innovative leader, they're supposed to know who they are first. What is the purpose of their birth? They're supposed to know who they are and what is the purpose of birth. When they know who they are and when they know what is the purpose, ultimately they start vision. They know what to do. They know what to achieve. When they know their strengths and weaknesses, and when they know why they are born in the society, what they want to make it, ultimately they create innovations. Vision starts, innovation creates. And the other element is called self-regulation, regulating oneself. Self-regulation and then emotional quotient go hand in hand. Self-regulation here it deals only the individual. Self-regulating emotion, looking at their emotions inside, looking at what triggers their emotions, what are the feelings that they undergo. When they are able to regulate their emotions in a stabilized manner, ultimately innovative leadership creates. And motivation, two sides. One is called self-motivation, and then the motivating the other people. That's all the other elements. And then empathy. Empathy is the another important element. Empathy, looking or the feeling the other person's feeling, putting the other person's shoe, look at the other person's view. There starts again innovation. When Abdul Kalam look at the people's the polio attacked people's problem, he felt the pain of them. That's why he created the 400-gram artificial legs. That's what empathy is all about. And social skills, how you move in the society. Social skills are the extroversion characters. Now, if you want to, innovative leadership, if you want to create an innovative leadership, that's supposed to three elements. Again, technical skills, IQ quotient, intelligent quotients, and then emotional quotient. Technical skills and then intelligent quotients joins together, and then it frames emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is the main streamline here. Emotional quotient, where it's self-regulation, individual assess his own feelings, emotions, whereas emotional quotient will be two sides. The leader will be analyzing his own emotion. At the same time, he will also know the other person's emotion, how to handle, how to tackle his own emotion, and then how to tackle the other person's emotion. In the next slide, Key factors for successful innovative leadership. There are different key sets that I've given. The Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata, he's also a great leader who donated 7,500 crores for the cause of Corona. To eradicate Corona from the nation, he sponsored 7,500 crores to the nation. Last week, Ratan Tata was interviewed by a person in leadership talk. That was the program where he was asked a question like, what was your down, where you fall, and how you got up, what made you, change in the particular situation. That was a question asked by the Ratan Tata. He narrated a story. So everybody knows in the year 2007, it was historical moment for our nation as well as the European nation. European nations, they were in the recession period. Economy was down in Europe countries. And everybody knows that's a year where Ratan Tata acquired a Land Rover and then Jaguar, two very big brands that Ratan Tata acquired. When Tata had a plan of acquiring Land Rover and Jaguar, all the industry people, they started criticizing Ratan Tata, saying he was a loser, he is a joker, he is investing on the 8 years failure industry. Land Rover and Jaguar was the 8-year failure industry. 8 years they were under loss continuously. So everybody started criticizing Ratan Tata, and Ratan Tata started having meeting what to do with the industry after buying it. At the same time, there was rumors started spreading in the Tata Land Rover and Jaguar showroom, the manufacturing plant. People started stories like they are going to close down the showroom and they are going to make it as a tandoori chicken showroom, the tandoori chicken manufacturing factory line. So Ratan Tata started planning what to do, and he was not clear about what to do with the industry, but he went to the particular manufacturing factory. So the government started helping Tata, but the ministers are not cooperating with him. It was said by him. And he took a meeting. He called everybody in a hall where he didn't speak. He didn't speak. Where rather he started listening to the complaints and listening to the questions and clarification. He was doing evaluation. He started asking questions. He was giving answers to the questions. So he started asking the crowd, what is the problem that you face? What do you want? That's what the question they asked. So whatever the problem that you have, you can share it now. That's what he said. People started asking questions. What are you going to do with the company? Are you going to close? What are you planning to change it here? That was the question they threw it to him. And people already around more than 1,500 employees were there. If they are going to close the company, and the entire 1,500 families are gone. So after listening to the question, he said, I don't know what to do, but I'll lend my shoulder to you and you lend your shoulder to me. We work together to get a success. That's what he said. The final statement was that I lend my shoulder and you lend your shoulder. We'll work together. From that moment onwards, he says, within 2 to 3 years, they returned the purchasing amount of 3 times. So whatever the purchase that they made, 3 times they used to return it. That's how they started working. Employees started working it. Innovation started. He says, new products we started developing. I didn't do anything. I just said these words. New products started innovated from the manufacturing, from the company. Now, Land Rover and Jaguar are the biggest companies. Everybody started buying it. Now, the question here is, what makes successful innovative leadership? It is not the leader one who innovates things. No. Leader's job is to make the subordinates or leaders, the followers, to create leadership. We have to influence them. These are the factors that I have given. So risk tolerance. We have to take the risk. Tata had taken the risk. It is 8 years failure company. He has taken the risk. And again, with a skill, domain expertise skill, he doesn't know, but he said he used the human skills. And he was open. In an open forum, he said, I do not know, as you do not know, as well, likewise, I do not know. That was he said. And he was not anxiety. He didn't anxiety about the product, but rather he was shown a low anxiety. And then he was emotionally stable. He knows what's going on into him, and he knows the other people, what they go into their feelings. So emotional stability was there, and confidence. He was very confident about people that they will do it. And then he showed confidence. He poured confidence to the followers, and collaboration. He gave the collaboration again. All those factors that the Land Rover and Jaguar succession. That's what Ratan Tata did it. He says, when I didn't feel an empathy about the people, what I'll get it. He is also he has given a statement for the new upcoming leaders. He says, when you go to sleep, if you feel that I have done something new, if you feel the feel, then you have done something today. If you don't have the feel, then you have to think about it. That's what the statement used to say. We are at the end of the session, sixth innovative leadership behavior, how are leaders supposed to be with the followers. Leaders always need to encourage their individual followers whenever they take an initiatives. We have to cultivate this habit. When people have taken any initiative, appreciate them, encourage them. That will give them confidence to create a new product. And clarify the individual responsibility. People, they do not even know when see in the lower level, when people start joining in the organization, they don't even know what is their responsibility. But already leaders know. The team leader or the manager knows what they need to do, what they are not supposed to do. Tell them politely or understandably, what is their responsibility, in what way they have to work with us. In a teamwork, take them into teamwork. And whenever you give feedback is the important point. Whenever you provide feedback, you give it them in a clear and then complete performance appraisal, evaluation feedback. You tell them what they have done, you give them plenty of the positive points rather than giving the negativity. You focus on the positivity, and finally we can tell them where they can improve. Not the negativity, where they can improve, we can tell them. And always maintain the task, whether we have not to micromanage, rather task alone. Don't micromanage your team. When you are going to focus each and every nook and corner, people will not believe you. People get offended. They will have a fear on you. So rather task-oriented people, you have to be a task-oriented people, at the same time not micromanaging. And then make people group relationship a better relationship. If you are a leader in a group, you make them feel at home, make everyone feel at ease. They try to be open in the open forum, group forum. So emphasize on the group relationship. And finally, demonstrates trust. How you can demonstrate trust is you have to give confidence to them. You have to make them to be trusted by you. When you throw them the integrity, people started trusting in a group. When you say and you do it, people started following you. People started loving you. They started trusting you. And finally, the obstacles to innovation. There are plenty of obstacles. I'll take only one or two, and then we'll finish with that. Always leaders, the innovative leaders, we need to focus on the futuristic problem also, not only the short-term thinking. Only at the time, at the particular situation, we need not to take any decision. We have to think what can be taken to the future. About the Maggie noodles problem. So instant food they have given. That's what every family needs actually. People are started working, husband and wife are going for a job. We do not have time to cook. So what manufacturer did is instant food. At present problem it has been solved, but in future it has started creating cancer. Future, we never worried about the future. We only worried about the short term. So as a leader, we have to not only think about the short term, and we need to think about the long term. And the short term thinking we need to eradicate. That the another one, micromanagement, I already told you. And then absence of your friendly idea management process. Whenever people started sharing idea, you need to be very friendly with them. You not to criticize them. You make them happy. You make them friendly. You create a friendly environment. And our leaders always should have a vision and the purpose of his birth, or else purpose of his task, or purpose of the job. They're supposed to have a vision, and they're supposed to have a purpose and strategy that they follow. That a leader alone need not to keep it up. They have to share it with the group. And finally, a good leader, innovative leader, how an innovative leader need to be. You can practice that whenever you got a team. If you are in a team, you practice this with the team. You supposed to listen first. We supposed to. A leader, listening is the key important factor that we supposed to have. Listen. Whenever our subordinates, whenever the followers started talking, started saying something, you listen. Completely listen. Like you don't even know how to talk. Like completely you listen. You lend your ears, and then observe what they talk, in what perspective they talk, what is their ideology, what they try to say. Look at their confidence level when they talk, look at their eye contact. You observe their body language, observe, listen, observe. And finally, once everything is done, people stopped talking. Once the whatever the subordinate want to share finished off, and then you speak. I'm again specifically saying it, speak, don't talk. Talking is called no, it is we call it is not professionalism. Talking is we gossip, we share jokes and go. Rather you speak what you understood. You listened, observed, and you're going to speak what you understood from the subordinates saying, what you understood from the conversation. You speak with them, and people started loving you, and you motivate them to do innovative things. Not you are motivating your group to do. Now it's called group atmosphere. So in a group we have to motivate them, we have to listen, observe, and then speak. With that, I've thrown you the insights on innovative leadership. And if you got any query, any other doubts, you can share in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Audience, you can post your questions in the chat box. Audience are replying, very informative session, sir. Thank you very much.
For your kind information, we will share you the tools for trait, and then for skill, we'll share you the tools. You can use it. You can identify what is your traits and what is your skill, and where is the gap that you have. You can identify it, and then you can create it. You can you can develop it.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, there is a question from Sagai Franklin. As a business student, what kind of technical skills we need to have?
For us, technical is a subject knowledge that we need to be very clear. If you are a BBA graduate, you need to know what is management. And if you got any specialization, and you're supposed to be very clear with the specialization. If you take an HR as a subject, you have to be very clear with that. Moreover, you need to produce confidence. That again, management, it teaches you how to manage employees in an organization. So teamwork, that you have to that skill you have to be very that you have to develop. And then communication, how to communicate. Communication is not to talking or not speaking. The way you share your information, it's supposed to be, understandable by the person. That's you have to cultivate it.
Yeah, sir. Well said. Thank you very much, sir. Any other questions? Yeah, okay. There is another question from Professor Deepak. Is there any online source to improve the skills of management students to cope up with future needs? Online source, he is asking.
See, whatever you are lacking it up, if you put it into Google, Google is there, so you get all the sources from the Google. But my suggestion would be, if you want to gain more skills, you have to identify your skills first and what is required by the industry. Either we have a gap that has to be developed. Online, see, for example, leadership is a skill. That's a skill course actually. Now we are delivering it only the theoretical way. When we deliver it in a theoretical way, you will understand only the theoretical concept, but you will not be able to kinesthetic feeling. Yesterday, like Professor Dr. Vadivel and HOD sir said, like you need to have a kinesthetic feeling to gain skills for our manager students. So try to learn books and then try to attend. Might be pandemic situation. We are lacking in regular sessions. Might be once the pandemic situation gets over, try to attend technicals, not what is that, sessions conducted by the organizations or the colleges.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. There is another question from Vaishnavi Anjana. Sir, as a leader, how to be cool in every situation as a leader?
You have to possess emotional quotient. Very simple. Emotional quotient that we need to follow it up. Thinking creates feeling. Feeling creates behavior. All right. Or else we can put it in this way. Feeling creates thinking. Thinking creates our behavior. So if you want to be very cool in any situation, you analyze what you feel. You identify the feeling that you have. If you know the feeling, you don't immediately throw it out. Think it. You are not having the feeling. Only you have the feeling. You are not the feeling. So if I get angry, angry is my feeling. I'm having the feeling of angry, not I'm angry. So use thinking skills. Identify the no feeling, and then think it, and then change it. You can be very cool at any situation.
Yes, thank you, sir. This is also applicable for all the teachers. Yes, thank you, sir.
Yes. Arudas, I read your question. Why our women leaders are not encouraged? Encourage. There is again in Leaders, written by Peter G. Northaus. He says women leaders are as equal to human like male leaders. If you take Tamil society, in the Tamil society, initially it was like in the olden days, it was like women are the leaders at home and men are leaders in the society. Now at present it is totally drastically changing. You take PepsiCo, Indra Nui, she's a woman leader. People are started encouraging women leaders. Even more organization, many organization, they take the middle level, the only the managers and assistant managers, they consider female employees as a managers. They encouraging in that way.
Yes, thank you, sir. Another question from another participant. Sir, if the situation is such a extremes which we are unable to handle, then what we have to do as a manager or an employee?
Simple. If you're not able to handle the situation, take it to your higher official, to the next level. But a leader should handle any situation. That's why I said you have to identify your feelings and then thinking. If you are unable to manage as a manager, take it to the next level.
Yes, the last question from the Professor Deepak. Sir, how can we improve our emotional quotient?
Emotional quotient. Right. Now, it's a psychological questions where emotional quotient you can develop practicing identifying your emotions initially. It is little bit slightly initially it will be difficult, but when you practice identifying your emotions, whenever you got a problem, identifying your emotions, that you'll get a practice of it. What you do, you whenever a day ends, you sit at the end of the day, you sit and try to observe what are the emotions that you have undergone, how you reacted to the situation. See, emotional quotient, to improve our emotions, we are not supposed to react, rather than we have to proact. We address the issue in the beginning itself. That's how we can improve our emotional quotient. Identify at the end of the day, analyze what you have done, what are the emotions that you have undergone in the day, and then identify what caused your emotion.
Okay, ma'am. Shall we move? Shall we wind up,
Yes,
ma'am?
sir. Yes,
Very
sir.
good. Okay, Anand. Really, it was very splendid presentation, Anand. From the
Thank you, sir.
started from 11:15 to 12:30. Really, it was very interesting, and you made a small research, big research, I can say, also on leadership. From starting from earlier kind of different types of leadership and traits and personalities. The mini research has been done. I can see much effort has been taken in your presentation. Really a thought-provoking presentation on the leadership, which we many were lagging in our personal field or industry field or an education field. The leaders were very important because everybody will follow the leaders. Of course, if he is perfect, then everything will be perfect. So many information, many styles, many obstacles that you have told, many interesting examples from Indra Nui to everybody. It was very nice honor. Thanks for be a presenter to be as to the Department of Business Administration, Don Bosco College.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Anand.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Over to Preethi, ma'am. Over to Preethi.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Murugan from Department of Business Administration, Don Bosco College, Yelagiri Hills, to propose a vote of thanks. Over to Murugan, sir.
Thank you, madam. Very good afternoon, everyone and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the program to all dignitaries assembled in virtual platform. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. ANANDRAJ, Assistant Professor, Sale Arts College, Tirupatur, who honored today's program with his inspirational knowledge sharing about innovative leadership and thinking skill. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our beloved rector, principal, vice principal, HOD, staff members, student, ACM Yelagiri, and Pan-India participant for making today's program as a grand success. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Murugan, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Anand. Participants, kindly give your poll and we'll meet you tomorrow for another important session. Okay. Finish up your poll and we'll move to the next tomorrow's session. Thank you.
எங்க தலைவருக்குமே தெரியும் பிரச்சனை காரணம் வச்சுக்கோங்க ஒண்ணு நீ முடியலன்னு சொல்லிருக்கணும் ஏன்னா நம்ம அவருக்கு இன்ஃபார்ம் எல்லாம் பண்ணல ஆபீஸ்ல நான் போறோம்னு போட்டோ பார்த்துட்டு அதான் பண்ணல இந்த இடத்துல மேனேஜ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்னு
Murugan sir, can you mute? Murugan sir? Murugan sir?
So I muted him, sir.
Okay, thank you.